Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of Friday Night Smackdown for December the 3rd, 2021. We kicked off the show with a recap of last week, Sami Zayn winning the Battle Royal to become the number one contender for the Universal Championship. And SmackDown, the live show, started off with the return of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar coming right out at the beginning of SmackDown. By the way, shout out to everybody in the chat room watching this live. I appreciate your viewership and support. And thank you to everyone that supported me on Twitter, tweeted the head honchos at Twitter. I finally got verified on Twitter at Aaron Rift. So again, I appreciate everyone's help with that. Thank you very much. Brock Lesnar kept it short and sweet. He was there for one reason and one reason only: the Universal title. But then the number one contender, Sami Zayn, quickly interrupted. Pat McAfee, on point with commentary, said, "What an idiot." Zayn talked about how their paths had finally crossed. They are two Canadian alpha males. Brock told him to shut up. Brock wasn't even sure who he was. Was he a fan? Brock said that Sami Zayn had a lot of balls to interrupt him. And then he had to make a few things clear. Brock Lesnar, he hunts things. He kills things. He eats things. Who the hell does Sami Zayn think he is? Zayn responded by saying he is the man that will face Roman Reigns at the Day 1 pay-per-view on January 1st. And Zayn said that after he beats Reigns, Reigns will be the former champion and Lesnar will get the first opportunity at the title. Lesnar said, why not do it on SmackDown? He could see Sami Zayn beating Roman Reigns on SmackDown. Zayn said he really did not want to do it in Texas. His hip was bothering him. He was making all the excuses. And Lesnar said that Zayn should do it. And he really persuaded Sami Zayn. He was getting in his face, intimidating Sami Zayn, grabbed his hand, and finally, Zayn agreed to face Roman Reigns for the title on SmackDown. And Lesnar even said he would have Sami Zayn's back. This was a really entertaining opening segment. Brock Lesnar was great here. Some people fear that whenever he gets on the mic, he's not going to be good, but he's entertaining. Him and Sami Zayn had chemistry, and I laughed at this segment. I do not laugh at WWE segments that often for a good reason. I usually laugh because of how terrible a segment is, but I actually thought it was a really funny, entertaining segment to kick off the show. Big thumbs up. I loved it. I thought it was great. Caleb Jacob sent in a $2.48 super chat, says, thank you, Aaron. This will be my final super chat. Well, I appreciate you tuning in, Caleb, and I hope life treats you well. Thank you for your longtime support of the channel. I really do appreciate it. We had Sami Zayn meeting with Sonya Deville backstage, and as it turns out, Adam Pearce had travel issues and was not there. You know, of course, Adam Pearce was the reason Brock Lesnar was suspended, and he just conveniently had travel issues on the night that Lesnar returned. And Sami Zayn was telling Sonya he thinks the match between himself and Reigns should happen at Day 1, but then Brock Lesnar snuck right up behind him, and Sonya was like, you know what, let's do this title match on SmackDown. And then Lesnar was like, cool, I'll get to face the winner at the Day 1 pay-per-view. So yes, Brock Lesnar will be challenging for the Universal title at Day 1. Not WrestleMania, not the Royal Rumble, but day one. Now, the question is he facing Roman Reigns or Sami Zayn? Stranger things have happened. Anything can happen in WWE, as they have said for many years. Anyways, moving on, we had Shayna Baszler one-on-one with Sasha Banks, who is currently in the lead for the No DQ Female Superstar of the Year. You can vote over on NoDQ.com. It's been going back and forth, so there's no guarantee she's going to win it, but a lot of her fans got on No DQ and voted. She is currently in the lead. Hamp Kano with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. Says he's off topic here, but that's okay. He says, Xia Li looks like she's entering the Mortal Kombat tournament. I give her a month. I think she'll last longer than that. WWE wants a Chinese superstar. I think they're going to push her for a while. And even if they don't, they want a Chinese star for that market. So unless they have somebody else on the horizon, I think they're going to go with her for the time being. Just like you got Jinder Mahal, Veer, Shanky. They want to have some superstars for the Indian market. Same thing. They're trying to build their brand in the Chinese market. I think she's going to get a pretty solid opportunity. But will the gimmick work? That remains to be seen. Anyways, Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler. There was a video package for Shayna with her destroying Nia Jax and Eva Marie. Pat McAfee on commentary said it was the Future Endeavors kick that took out those people that are no longer with the company. Colin Andrews says Pat's comment was gold. Yeah, it was something else. Pat McAfee, he says a lot of entertaining things for sure. So anyways, pretty good match here between the two of them. They brawled on the outside early on. Sasha hit a Meteora to the outside. But then Baszler got the upper hand for a while. She hit Sasha with a knee into the corner, started trash talking. Sasha made a comeback, hit a tornado DDT, but Baszler kicked out. And then Baszler got the Cure Feud a clutch on, and Sasha was able to counter that into the bank statement. Baszler got out of that and then hit a running knee to the face, was going to go for a gut wrench, power bomb, or suplex, something. And Sasha Banks countered that into a pinfall, 1, 2, 3, to pick up the victory. I'm a little surprised that Shayna Baszler lost clean, considering they aired that video package to try and make her out like a really big deal, and then she just loses a TV match. Match was good, and it is what it is. Shayna Baszler, let's not forget, she took a lot of pinfall losses earlier this year, but I'm a little surprised they booked this match on a random episode of SmackDown. Like, if you're going to have Sasha beat her, do it on a pay-per-view at least. Build it up. Just don't throw it out there on TV and then Sasha beats her and that's the end of it. Although I'm sure they'll have rematches. Next up, we had Drew McIntyre meeting backstage with Sonya Deville. And he wanted to know what was up with the Black Friday Battle Royal, him not being in the match. Sonya said Adam Pearce made the list, and obviously he was not there because of his travel issues. McIntyre pulled out his sword and said he'll be looking for Adam Pearce when Pearce comes back. We then had Happy Talk with Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Anyways, they were doing the stupid jokes. They were making fun of Jeff Hardy and Drew McIntyre. Drew then arrived with Angela. Madcap Moss went to the outside of the ring, and back in the ring, Jeff Hardy hit a twist of fate to Mr. Happy Corbin. Madcap Moss got taken out as well. He got hit with a twist of fate and a claymore, and then Jeff Hardy and Drew McIntyre were happy. They put on the hats, and they were having a good old time. So the segment was, at least it did not lead to a tag team match after the commercial break. I am thankful for that. I think next week they're actually going to do Jeff Hardy versus Happy Corbin, which who knows, that might end up getting turned into a tag team match. We had the Xia Li promo. She's going to be debuting next week in Los Angeles. And then we had the Viking Raiders versus Los Lotharios. You had the Viking Raiders dominating early on, but then Humberto pulled Angel to safety, and Humberto and Angel were double teaming Eric. They had things firmly in control. And then all of a sudden, well, not really all of a sudden, they were delaying for the longest time. Like Angel had Eric ready, and Humberto was supposed to hit his move, but he was waiting for the music to hit, and the music wasn't hitting right away. So time kind of stood still there very awkwardly. All of a sudden, we heard Rick Boogs' guitar. He was there at the announce table with Shinsuke Nakamura. By the way, when's the last time Shin defended the IC title? Just wondering. And they were playing the guitar. Well, you had Boogs playing the guitar. And even though they were distracting Los Lotharios, they ended up winning the match anyways with a roll-up. Humberto rolled up Eric and got the win. So it's like, okay. Viking Raiders look like complete goofs. They couldn't even win with the distraction. And then afterwards, the Viking Raiders went to the outside. They were kind of mad. But then Boog said they were just trying to help and started playing their song on the guitar, and they forgave them. I guess at least for now. But this segment was a dud in my opinion. Like, did absolutely nothing for the Viking Raiders, made them look like complete morons, and they don't even attack Boogs and Nakamura afterwards. Like, they just stood there and forgave them or whatever. Ridiculous. And it wasn't even much of a match. Like, it did nobody any favors. Did not care about this, and this is coming from somebody who really likes Rick Boogs. Yeah, this segment was crap. We had Toni Storm backstage, interviewed about getting the 2 pies to the face last week, and she said she's not afraid of Charlotte Flair, and she's coming for her. Yada, yada, yada. We then had King Woods versus Jey Uso. And by the way, I agree with Walter Cruz. The Raiders need a heel turn as soon as possible. I thought they were going to turn, but they didn't. Of course, that could happen next week, but we'll see. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, what's your favorite Madcap Moss matches and moments? My favorite moment is when he's off my television screen, quite frankly, and same thing with his matches, the ones where they end very quickly. So we had King Woods versus Jey Uso, and you had the Usos cutting a promo before the match, saying that it's not a good look for Sami Zayn to go after the head of the table. And there's one man to fear in WWE, the man that is going to smash Sami Zayn and smash Brock Lesnar at day one, that of course being Roman Reigns. Xavier Woods came out and said that the Usos don't like surprises, and he's got a surprise for them. And that was the returning Kofi Kingston, who in storyline was injured, but in real life, his wife gave birth. Congratulations to them. And this was a very short match, unfortunately. They didn't really do much here. Jimmy caused a quick disqualification. Kofi Kingston made the save. Reigns was watching backstage and started asking Paul Heyman questions about Brock Lesnar, wanting to know if Lesnar being in Zayn's corner was something that Heyman knew, and Heyman denied it. So, kind of the same stuff they've been doing for several weeks. Charlotte Flair came to the ring for a promo and said basically she had considered Toni Storm's challenge, and the answer was no. She started to leave the ringside area, but that's when Toni Storm snuck up behind her and threw a pie in Charlotte's face. So yes, WWE is building up a storyline between Charlotte Flair and Toni Storm for the women's title based off of them throwing pies at each other. Kind of reminds me when Chris Jericho and Kane had a storyline that started over a spilled cup of coffee. Or Edge versus Booker T, that feud started over a shampoo commercial. And now we got a feud starting over throwing pies at each other. All right. Is this WWE or is this a Three Stooges movie? I'm not sure what the hell is going on here. We then had New Day cutting a promo backstage, and they were chatting with Aaliyah, and they basically said that they would be challenging the Usos for the tag team titles at day 1. There you go. New Day, Usos for the titles. Should be a good one. Caleb Jacobs says, do you think Paul Heyman will turn on Roman Reigns and be back with Brock Lesnar? I don't think so. I think Lesnar's best off doing his own thing as a babyface right now, and Paul Heyman is doing great stuff with Roman Reigns. I would not mess with that. I don't think Paul Heyman needs to be back with Brock Lesnar, just my opinion. Although they could do that if they wanted to ever turn Roman Reigns back to a face, which I think that that's a bad idea, but you never know. They could do something like that, and Heyman could say, you did all these things to me and accused me of all these things, and payback's a bitch. I mean, they could do that. I don't think they should, but they could. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, does really think that this would get Toni Storm over in regards to the pie throwing? Well, when you can pipe in crowd noise, you can make anything work if you want to. I really don't know where they're going with this. Maybe they're going to have a pie match at the next pay-per-view. The loser is the first one to get a pie thrown in their face, and it has to fully connect. You got to have a full pie to the face in order for the match to end. And they just throw pies at each other throughout the entire match, and the crowd chants, "We want pie," and it's a good time. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this. I really don't. Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Walter. I appreciate it. He says, it's the sixth time we've seen Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I'm over it, but it goes back to WWE not making new stars. If they focused on that, we wouldn't have so many rematches. Well, Sami Zayn might have been Reigns in the main event. We haven't gotten to it yet, so maybe they're going in a different direction. Let's see how this show finished off before we talk about that. But thank you, Walter Cruz. We had Sheamus versus Cesaro, of course, the two former members of the Bar. And this could have been a great match, but it was really short. I was disappointed that they got so little time here to have a match. Ridge Holland was watching TV backstage the wrong way. He was actually looking at it straight forward like a normal human being. That's not how you do it, Ridge Holland. You gotta get up to speed here. You gotta watch it from the side, man. What are you doing? Anyways, match was so short, I really don't have much to say about it. Cesaro got the upper hand a little bit, uppercutted Sheamus over the barricade into the timekeeper area, but then back in the ring, Sheamus hit a knee to the face, started trash talking, said that Cesaro has held him down. Cesaro responded by saying Sheamus was like a brother to him, and then Sheamus finished him off with a bro kick. It was like a 3 or 4 minute match. I was really let down by this one. Like they got almost no time here. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, why didn't WWE push multiple guys but just Roman? That's how they do things. They put all their chips in one basket. That's how they roll. They put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to Roman Reigns. He's their guy. He's their John Cena or Steve Austin or The Rock. He's the guy. And that's what they're focused on. They want to have that big mainstream superstar. Now, why not have 2 or 3 or 4? Good question. And they really should. They They definitely need something for Roman Reigns as far as opponents go. Like, they need that guy that can rival Roman Reigns. We've talked about this on other streams. Austin had The Rock. Hogan had Randy Savage. Bret Hart had Shawn Michaels. Randy Orton had John Cena. Roman Reigns doesn't have that guy. I mean, I guess Brock's the guy, but you need somebody who's an up-and-comer who can be the guy who's on TV every week feuding with Roman Reigns. You know, Brock Lesnar should not be that guy. Brock Lesnar's a special attraction. You want to have a full-time guy who can rival Roman Reigns. And yes, I meant John Cena had Randy Orton. Thank you for that, degenerate. We had Naomi meeting backstage with Sonya Deville, once again wanting her one-on-one match against Sonya. And Sonya finally said sure. But it would be when Sonya decides to take off her suit. And as long as she's wearing the suit, Naomi cannot touch her, or Naomi would not get the match and also would not get a paycheck. Naomi asked if the match was accepted, if the challenge was accepted. Sonya slapped Naomi and then said that the match is official. And it will take place on next week's SmackDown in Los Angeles. Colin Andrews says, I'm really excited to see Sonya come back to in-ring competition. Now, I'm still wondering, are they going to pull another stunt? I mean, they already did the stunt where Sonya was going to come back and really didn't. They did the handicap match angle. Is she actually going to have the match next week? I think she is, but I'm still not totally convinced. I hope so. I want to see Sonya Deville back in the ring, so we'll see what happens. We had our main event of the evening, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn, and it was really odd because Sami Zayn came down to the ring at 9:30, and I'm thinking, this match ain't going 20 minutes. What's the deal here? And as it turns out, what they did was Sami made his entrance, and then there was a whole bunch of other stuff that happened, like they were showing the Raw recaps that they do every week, and then Sami Zayn cut a promo, said Texas is his least favorite state. He's going to shock the world and defeat Roman Reigns, win the title. He's not going to thank anyone except for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar then arrived, and Sami was trying to convince Brock to help him win. Sami said that he would be a better opponent for Brock than Roman. Brock would have a better chance, and that wasn't Sami putting himself down, but saying that, well, Brock doesn't exactly have the best track record against Roman Reigns. Wrong thing to say. Brock got pissed, beat the shit out of Sami Zayn, took him to Suplex City, and laid him out with 2 F5s, and then helped up Sami Zayn, what a gentleman, and took his leave. Roman Reigns arrived. Sami was just laid out in the corner. He could not even stand up. So the Usos helped up Sami Zayn. For some reason, the referee did not ask Sami if he was good to go, which the referees typically do. They ask the guy, can you compete? And they either say yes or no. I guess the referee hates Sami Zayn. It's a conspiracy. So they just rang the bell. Roman Reigns hit the spear, put on the guillotine, immediate tap out, of course. And that was SmackDown. That was the end of the show. What they did was entertaining. I liked it. Little anticlimactic at the end. I mean, we all figured that was going to happen, but, it's fine. Is Brock Lesnar going to be on SmackDown next week? They didn't say anything, but they did announce a few things. Feels like they should do a bigger show next week since it's going to be at Staples Center. Well, Crypto Arena, whatever the hell they're calling it now. I say it's always going to be the Staples Center. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, is Sami Zayn leaving WWE in 2020 or re-signing? Hard to say. I mean, some people think Zayn is going to be gone. Kevin Owens will be gone. And you don't know. It depends on how much money WWE is willing to offer them. But then again, money might not be everything. Maybe they want to go back to more of a sports-oriented organization, which is what AEW says they are. I don't know. I mean, I really think it's a coin flip with both guys, and I think people are already saying that Kevin Owens is gone. I would say not necessarily. AEW's roster is getting crowded now. And remember, there's several people that were released that still haven't appeared in AEW yet. You got Keith Lee, who will almost certainly be there, and they may end up picking up a few other people. I don't know about Zayn and Owens. I really don't. But overall, I think the show was pretty good. I'm gonna give SmackDown a B+, and a lot of it was Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was really entertaining on this show. So was Sami Zayn, for that matter. So because of them, I thought this was an above-average SmackDown. Thus, I'm going with the B+ letter grade. And as far as the poll goes that I put up, 36% thumbs up, 17% down, 26% middle, kind of a mixed bag for this show, and 21% did not watch. Caleb Jacobs and Matt Helms gave it a B+. Mike B and CC Drink with an A-. Gamers on 100 also gives it a B+ as well. And Mr. Dijakovic gives it a B+, says SmackDown was pretty good. Walter Cruz says B for him, but the review was an A+. Well, thank you, Walter. I do appreciate that. And yeah, we got the day one match. A little surprised. I thought that they were going to wait till the Royal Rumble at the very earliest for the rematch. Have that match in a stadium, but we'll see where they go. I'm intrigued that they're doing this match so soon. Maybe Brock actually wins the title and Reigns has to chase it heading into WrestleMania. Maybe they're going to do Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar or something different. We'll see. I'm intrigued. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your viewership and support. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com this weekend. Don't forget, I will be doing coverage of the NXT War Games pay-per-view. Stay tuned Sunday night. That'll be a fun one. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see you guys next time.